Video quality is important for any type of scenario, whether you're wanting to become a YouTuber, you want to upload a video for a project, whatever the case may be, is you want your video to look the best that it can be. And there's a few things to consider, not only just your export settings, but YouTube's post-processing that I think a lot of people don't talk about. And that's what we're going to talk about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop over here in the Premiere Pro, and I already have a video, a Call of Duty video that I recorded in 720p. Obviously nowadays 720p isn't HD. I mean, back when I was starting YouTube, 720p was the peak, or at least that's what you wanted to get as a minimum. Now 1080 is the standard. That's like the bare minimum that you want to get with. But here we are, we have this video that is 720p that I have recorded, 720p 60 frames per second. Now, what I like to do is I like to upscale my videos, and I'll get to why that's important in a second, but I'm going to show you guys how I do that here, and I'm going to show you guys why that is important once we get to the YouTube post-processing. But I do have a, and this is going to matter here in a second, but I do have a 1440p upscale for all of my videos because I either record in 1080 or I record in 720. So I upscale my videos to 1440, which is 2K. And that is important because 1440, 60 frames per second. You want to make sure you get that 60 frames per second in there. You don't want no 59.9. You don't want that. You want that 60 frames per second. That'll get you that clean, smooth kind of quality that you want. So you guys can copy these if you want. Make sure your format's H.264 Quad HD. You want to make sure you're Quad HD. You're going to have these or presets here. You want to get the Quad HD, which is 2K. You want to make sure your frame rate is 60 frames per second. Render at maximum depth and use maximum render quality. That's exactly what you want to have here. You want to have hardware encoding high for the profile, 5.2 level. And this is up for debate. I've seen many people say that the target bitrate needs to be lower. I've seen some people say higher, but I have seen that this right here, 80, is a decent number. You guys can play around and see what you want, but that's basically all my render settings are. Now, I'm going to show you why it matters here in a second. So here I have 3 different tests that we're going to go through. Now, I'm going to play them. I'm going to show them side by side here in the video, but I'm going to play them big screen, and then at the end I'll show them all side by side here in a second. So this is what the video would originally look like on YouTube after the post-processing is done. This is what it would look like at 1440p. Let's make sure that we click, yep, 1440. This is what it would look like. Now, this is what it would look like in 1080. Now, I can tell a slight difference because I've been looking at it for the last 30 minutes, but people might not be able to tell the difference. Now, this is where we run into some issues. Now, lots of people want to render in just 720 or 1080. You need to be registered. You need to be rendering at a minimum 1080p because this right here is 720, and you can tell the difference. You can just tell that there's some pixelation, some blurriness. You can just tell. The reason why that is because every single one of these videos have different, not every single one, but 2 of them have the same codec and 1 doesn't. Now, what I mean by codec is if you come down here for stats for nerds and you come and look, you have different codecs. So this is the AVC1 codec. This one, I feel like, is not as superior as the one that we're going to talk about here. Now, this is 720, 60 frames per second. Now, let's go to the 1080 one. Now, what is the codec here? AVC1. Still AVC1. So even though you're not getting the full quality with 1080p, you're getting AVC1, which, I mean, I'm going to show it side by side. It doesn't look too much different. I mean, I can see it again. I can see it. You guys might be able to pick up on it, but it's not too much different from this 1440p. But the reason why I think that the 1440p is better is because we come down here and we get this VP9 codec. This is going to unlock the secret to why your videos are looking blurry and they're not looking really good when it comes to gaming. That codec was believed to have only been applied to bigger YouTubers and you had to have had a certain amount of subscribers to get this get this codec. But I've been able to find this out. Just upscale your videos, you'll get this codec. Now, what really confuses me is there's another codec out there which I don't understand what it is. I don't know if this is the codec they were talking about, of how, you know, you can upscale your videos and you'll get some different codec. This one is AV01. So you notice that these were AVC1. This is AV01, and this is the Markiplier video that was rendered, that was recorded in 720p and upscaled to 1080p. I mean, I don't know. It's 1080/60. I don't know why he has this AV01 and the video looks pristine. I mean, you see it right here. This video looks pristine, and I don't know if it's because he has 36 million subscribers or I don't know. But you have to keep those in consideration because YouTube definitely does do their own post-processing. You have to keep that in mind. That's about it though. Make sure you have 1080p 60 frames at a minimum, and you're still gonna get this AVC1. So if I were you, if you record in 1080, I would upscale to 2K 1440. You get it that way. If you are interested in editing advice, editing tutorials, anything like that, please consider subscribing. It will make me very happy in my heart. Anyway, guys, catch you guys later. Peace.